Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to take a look at the Stamina Dragonknight PvP build for the Wrathstone DLC. This build focuses on a lot of bleed and burst damage, and it has also a lot of ultimate regen, so it's a pretty cool build. I do have a written guide on my website, link in the description below, where I also showcase a ton of gameplay footage if you want to check it out. So when we talk about the build, this is very ultimate regen focused. Just to kind of give you an idea, we run Bloodspawn, 14 ultimate every 6 seconds when we're in combat, more or less. Werewolf Hide on the back bar, which is 5 ultimate every 5 seconds. Then on top of that we are a Nord. I highly recommend being a Nord, because you get 5 ultimate every 10 seconds. And then we obviously do have Carve on the back bar, which gives us minor heroism, giving us 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds. And because we are a Dragonknight, Mountain's Blessing passive, so we get 3 ultimate every 6 seconds, basically every time we use the Fossilize ability. There's a lot of ultimate regen, and I mean, you can spam Take Flight. The ultimate we use a lot, and that has several benefits, but I'll get into that later. This here is our unbuffed stats. And the ulti gen is just only one thing. We also have a lot of bleed damage, which I will get into in a second. Those are your unbuffed stats, and the screenshot there you can see fully buffed. We run the Serb Mundustone. Buff food wise, you can run Dubious Cameron Throne, or if you are kinda rich, I guess, Arteum Gold Food. A little bit better and gives you health recovery in addition. But more or less the same, except for the extra health recovery. Potions, you want to run Tricep Pods. The extra health, like when you drop low, you can pop the potion, drops you out of execute range, very helpful. Gives you a ton of stamina back and a lot of magicka, which is very important as well. Because we have utility, like magic abilities, volatile armor, reflective plate, and fossilize. There's other ways to restore that stuff as well, which I will get into later. Now you might think, well, resistance is a little bit low, but you kinda can adjust that however you want, because depending on what jewelry traits you run, you can amp this up a lot. Stamina is a little bit tricky. I would not recommend going below 25%, but again, it really, like, everything above 25k, I mean, not percent. Everything above 25k is good for Battlegrounds with this setup. Now Nord, again. This allows us to run medium armor. We are a medium armor build. And it gives us almost 4k physical and spell resistance. So this is really nice. And again, 1.5k max stam. The extra ulti gen I talked about. 1k extra health and cold resistance. And we gain immunity to the chill status effect. So this is a pretty cool race. All the stamina races work, but Nord and Orc are definitely above all the others. Here again, Bloodspawn. You want to have tri-stat enchantments on all your pieces with impenetrable. You could run 2 well fitted, but I just went with 7 impen. Feel more comfortable with it. Bloodspawn, again, it gives us 6k physical and spell resistance. When it procs, it's up a lot, okay? So again, when you add that on top of this here, you're almost at like 26-30k. In medium armor, that is. Deadly Strikes is the new set, or like the revamped set. This now deals physical bleed, poison, and disease damage. It increases the damage by physical bleed, poison, disease. Damage over time abilities by 14%. Now, this is not mandatory. If you want more utility, you could run Shackle Breaker. However, it is very strong. It really wrecks people hard, because Rending Slashes, Venomous Claw, and you have Carve. And Carve, like this here, is it bleeds enemies, and this here too. And obviously the Venomous Claw is very strong, and you see it costs 500 stamina. It's so cheap. And when you have 3 dots on the enemy and you use Take Flight into a Steel Tornado, most of them will die, trust me. So that's this set. I highly recommend it. I will definitely use this set on more builds. Backbar Werewolf Hide. Again, gives nice ultimate gen. Also gives us a little bit more health. And I run 3 robust, 2 cost reduction, stamina cost reduction, and 1 stamina recovery. Again, if you want, you can change of the robust to protective to gain more resistance. I'm not sure if I have some protective. Probably not. Let me quickly check. Probably not. But anyway, yeah. Protective increases your physical and spell resistance even further. So if you want to be more tanky, you could change it. Infused weapon damage enchant on the back bar. You weapon swap a lot of this build, so you want this. And you can keep it up 100% of the time. The extra weapon damage. The last weapons we use are the master weapons on the front bar. Now, again, they increase the bleed on your rending slashes ability by a lot. Okay? This is kind of... It amps up the damage like crazy. So I highly recommend getting them. They drop in Dragonknight's Veteran. So it's kind of tough to get through, but once you know how, easy peasy. I also have a guide on the website. It's definitely worth it. If you don't have those, you could, for example, run agility weapons just to get a little bit more max stamina. Now, one Nernhound with a disease enchant and another one with sharpened absorb stem enchant. I actually probably run out of the poisons. Let me quickly check. Maybe I have some left. Yeah, when you look at the screenshot, that's those poisons. You want to run those poisons. I probably run out. Yeah, here we go. There's like 12 left. So, drain health, poison. Drains health from your target, dealing 1266 poison damage and restoring 1260 health to you. And it also drains stamina from your target, increasing their stamina cost abilities, and it gives you stamina back. So they're really nice. You can find the ingredients on my website, how to craft them. There's also several options you actually have. So yeah, this on the front bar. You don't need the enchantments, but if you don't want to use those, then go with those 2 enchantments. The diseased one and absorb stem. Nernhound sharpened. Nernhound needs to be on the main hand, okay? Very important. I run 1 axe, 1 dagger. You could run 2 axes. Probably 2 axes might be even a little bit better, but you can see we have a decent amount of crit actually. It's not too bad. I mean, for Battlegrounds. So that's it about the gear setup. Champion points are on my website. I will not go through them because again, it's a Battleground focused build, but again, it works in Cyrodiil. Now, skill setup. Quick cloak. This here, I use this for speed buff. So we actually can get the Major Expedition, which is nice. It also gives us a major evasion, reducing damage from area attacks by 25%. Very nice. And it also deals a little bit of damage. Rending slashes, our main bleed. Very dangerous with the master dual wield weapons. Also snares the enemy. Venomous claw. Again, single target. You apply this to an enemy. And this ticks every 2 seconds and it gets stronger and stronger. It costs... It's basically a free cost. 482 stamina. It's so cheap. That's because we have cost reduction. And this here decreases the cost of your stamina poison abilities by 25%. If you want, you can run Noxious Breath to get the major fracture. However, I found Venomous Claw to be more beneficial overall. Because it ticks for quite a bit. Noxious Breath applies the major fracture, but it barely deals any damage. Steel Tornado, this is your spin to win button basically. It is auto-execute, especially when enemies are low, they usually die. Resolving Vigor, you need to keep this up all the time. It's your main heal. Then we have Take Flight, it costs 110 ultimate points, and you see we have a lot of ultimate regeneration. So you can use this a lot. When you watch gameplay, I can use it so often. And when you have 3 bleeds, the Carve, you have Rending Slashes, Venomous Claw, Take Flight the enemy into Steel Tornadoes, most of them will die. Because they will get CC'd mid-air and you can get a Steel Tornado off before they can break free most of the times. Rally gives you your weapon damage, major brutality, and it also heals, and it also gives you a burst heal at the end, if you want to. Carve, another bleed, deals decent amount of damage, but remain heavy for minor heroism, but it's another dot, which is nice. Volatile Armor increases your resistances, main thing we use it for. It also, when you go here, let's see, you also get a little bit like healing received increased, which is nice when this is up. Reflective plate. Now this is your main magic ability. You gain immunity to snares and immobilizations for 2 seconds, so when you get rooted or snared, don't dodge roll, flap your wings. So you get unrooted, you get snare immunity, you reflect all ranged projectiles, or at least 4 of them. 4 of them. And believe it or not, we only have 10.5k max magicka, but we can keep this up almost whenever I need it. Because we still can use it quite a bit. We have the magicka pots, which fills it back up, and we spam take flight like crazy. A Dragonknight, ultimate, battle roar. When you cast an ultimate ability, you restore 46 health, magic and stamina for each point of the ultimate cost. So we get like 5k magicka, stamina and health back whenever we use this. That's why it's so nice to have that much ultimate regen on this setup. Fossilize. So for people that are kinda tanky, this is the answer. You usually dot them up. In full abilities, you fossilize them. Then you either take flight or you spin to win. Because fossilize, it cannot be blocked. So it goes through block, it goes through dodge roll. So the enemy will get stunned and has to drop block for a second. This is especially good when 4 people or 6, 7 people are fighting against each other. You have a perma blocker. You drop his block for a second. He will get a lot of increased damage during that time. Corrosive armor. I usually have this at the start. Basically God mode for 10 seconds and it ignores all the physical resistance of the enemy. So it basically has 0. And so your steel tornado hits like a truck. It's very nice. But I prefer to use take flight. Now a lot of people are like, well, Alcast, why do you use take flight? Dawnbreaker is better. You're not wrong. On the other hand, Dragonknight without take flight, you can go, I don't know. Take flight just looks too cool to not be used. Now you can run Dawnbreaker if you want to. This has 2 things. Deadly Strikes actually buffs the Dawnbreaker dot, the physical dot there. So it's actually quite strong. Goes even more up when I have the weapon damage glyph procced on the back bar. It's also fairly cheap. And yeah, it's AoE stun. So yeah, if you want more burst damage, I would go with take flight. If you want more sustained damage, Dawnbreaker of smiting. Just don't forget to activate all the this here, because I don't have enough skill points and don't have this slot. The passives are all on my website. Like always, medicinal use, don't forget to have, you need this. This allows you to get 100% potion uptime. Very important. Because you gain stamina, magic and health recovery here. Very important. What other abilities could you swap out? Let me quickly check. Yeah, that's more or less about what I run and what worked best for me. If you want, you could run a gap closer, but it's really not necessary because we have quick cloak, which gives us speedy Gonzalez. Yeah. Gameplay, all on my website. You see there's a gameplay category where I basically embed all the Twitch gameplay, Battleground deathmatch, Chaos Ball and all that stuff. And there's also some on YouTube. So that's it about the build. Again, it's very strong, very bursty. Ultimate regen is like crazy. It's very fun to play. I'm having a blast with this build. So I can highly recommend trying it out. Now for the outfit, let's quickly go check out that. When we look at the outfit, Bloodspawn mask, Cold Harbor Ash Black all. Then we have the Remora pauldrons, again Ash Black. Fire Drake gauntlets. This here is the Bloodroot wine. Get this from Horns of the Reach, the Elder achievement. I think you need to complete Valkyrie and Bloodroot Fortune of it. Then we have Ebon Shadow Greaves. Scale Collar check. This here is Scale Collar Girdle. Pit Demon Sabatons. Soul Shriven Axe. Apricot Outrage. So it's not the same orange. Caldera Ashbreak, same thing here. Back bar, I run the Elambris Battle Axe. Bloodroot, so Ash Black and Bloodroot Wine again. That's the thing set up. If you want, you can always check out my streams on Twitch. Link in the description below if you have any questions, if you want to see me play the build or all the other builds. And I can also highly recommend joining my community Discord server. We have a lot of people there. If you have any questions about the games, people are always here to help. That's more or less it for me. Please don't forget to subscribe. That would be much appreciated. I will go ham with elsewhere on build videos and just explanation and stuff like that, so you're definitely at the right address. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.